This is a demonstration of the Forrest manufacturing model 480P horizontal blade bandsaw. The P stands for pneumatic. This is a evolution over the original model 480. The concept here is a horizontal bandsaw blade cutting in the horizontal plane. Blade return wraps underneath the workpiece support table. The table in this case is a fixed static table. You slide the workpiece across to make a cut. We can also do a traveling table or a variable speed powered traveling table. One limitation of this design is you can only raise the blade, the working portion blade, up above the table surface until the return portion blade hits underneath. In this case, that gives you about 18 inches. But for the intended use, that's no limitation. The intended use for this machine was for people who want to make sheets off a block of material. Now, people use it for lots of other reasons, but this is the original idea. Typical block of material. Actually, this is a little heavier than typical. This is about 3 foot by 4 foot, call it 10 inch thick, 8-pound mineral wool insulation. We're going to try to take a sheet off of 1 inch. The first instinct when trying to make this kind of cut is to take your cut off the top, down and down and down. But that requires you to move the blade down between every cut. Here, for example, we're going to make a 1 inch cut. I set the blade 1 inch above the table surface. I don't have to move the blade between cuts. Set the workpiece down, run it through, make a cut. This is the awkward part. Pick the workpiece up, carry the head of the saw, set it down, run it through again. So it's a low capital investment machine, a little bit more labor to operate it, but you can actually hit pretty good production rates with this machine without having to spend a lot of money on the initial capital investment. Blade we're running today. This is a 1 inch wide scallop edge knife style blade. The typical blade for a bandsaw is a hook shape or hook tooth shaped blade, carves out a channel of material, typical what you would see cutting wood or metal. For cutting this type of material, you can get away with using a knife style blade. Creates no dust. It is a more expensive blade, it does wear out more quickly, but for a high quality cut, it is the way to go. This machine, the P in 480P stands for pneumatic, uses air pressure and air cylinder to tension the blade, makes it easy to blade change. You can set the blade tension just by adjusting the pressure on the pressure regulator here. Makes for very quick blade changes, makes for a very accurate, controlled setting of the blade tension. The blade height is controlled up and down, have these ratcheting cranks, one on both sides. The motor in this case is a 2 horsepower 3-phase brake motor. Brake motor is important because the blade stops when you hit the stop button. Magnetic starters, fairly simple setup. Do have provision for dust collection on this machine, although this knife style blade makes almost no dust, so we're not going to bother running it. Roller blade guides help stabilize these wider blades. And that's pretty much the features list. Now we'll try and do a test cut. One of my tricks, this is actually 8-pound block this size. It's doable on this machine. It's at the far end of the range of what you want to do as far as material. Anything bigger than this, I would really want a traveling table. But we should be able to do this. I'll start the saw. We'll push through. I'll start pushing with hands on the workpiece. Once it's fully on the table, I'm going to switch to a pusher box. That way my hands stay well away from the blade and I get to keep all my fingers. Oh, this is a heavy pig. Okay, I'm going to switch to the pusher box now. Does the blade look to be tracking pretty well from your side? Does the blade look to be tracking pretty well from your side? Okay, pull it through if you'd please. Good. I tell you what, let's you and I get on either side of it, lift it up, carry the workpiece over here so the the viewing audience at home can see the results of the cut. Get under it, leave the bottom piece. Good. And we'll set it your right hand down. Like this. And that is what it does. That's some pretty stuff or what? Here's the produced workpiece. Doing my Price is Right demo girl impersonation here. Without the sexual harassment by Bob Barker, please. Very nice. So, model 480P. If you have any questions, please feel free to call Forrest Manufacturing. We have this and we have many other versions of horizontal saws for cutting insulation materials, plastic, all manner of stuff. Not metal, but softer materials.